What's up, all you minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 most wanted DC Continuing Omnis. So these would be volumes 2 and 3 of some books that have already come out and maybe DC forgot about. I even mapped them out and picked out the covers. So let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, just want to ask you all to smash that like button, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. All that helps with our YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 most wanted DC Omnis that I wish they'd continue. Volume 1 has come out, or some of them have been released as things like Green Arrow by the Long Bow Hunter, so we can call Green Arrow what would technically be Volume 3, Post-Crisis on Infinite Earths, Uncanny Omar Talk Pretty one day. It's something a little bit different. So, because another creative team came in and took over the book after Mike Grell left. So you will be seeing that in here. So I would love to know what your top 10 would be, your top 5 that you wish they would continue. One of the ones that I left out of here because they took it out of the catalog, and I know I have faith that they'll put it back, and that is New Teen Titans Volume 6. They already mapped it out, and I'm hoping that it will return to the catalog. So, especially with that reprint of Volume 1, let's go ahead and get started. It is a countdown. I love doing these. Number 10, I got Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth, Volume 2. So this would collect the remaining issues of Kamandi, and Kamandi went on way past Jack Kirby, and it was a series that honestly, it wasn't until I got the omnibus, because I had a really good deal, that I was like, I don't know if I would like this or not, but ended up loving it. So it continued with Dennis O'Neil, Jack Harris, and you had artwork in there by Dick Ayers. And when I picked out the cover, I decided to have two iconic characters there created by Jack Kirby. So I had to go with the OMAC and Kamandi there. So that is definitely my choice, and this would be a Volume 2, and down at the bottom is where I put the contents of the book. So I even included things like the Kamandi project in there because I think that was a hell of a project. Number 9, not even a great fan of this series, but whatever. Red Hood and the Outlaws Volume 2. While I may not be the greatest fan of this series, I am a completist. And if you're going to release a Volume 1, then give me that Volume 2, baby, to wrap up the rest of this New 52 era. Now, Red Hood and the Outlaws changed names from Red Hood and the Outlaws to Red Hood Arsenal. So I included those in there, as well as the annuals and a little bit of the DC Universe Presents. So this wraps up the New 52 era, leading into the DC Rebirth era, which, hey, who knows? Maybe one day I'll get to map out, because DC will actually do that. And one of the main reasons I added this particular omnibus on the list is because I love the artwork in here. Despite the story, it is a graphic novel, so visuals are very important. And I'm a big fan of a lot of the art that went into making that particular book. Number 8, Animal Man, Volume 2. So I want to go past the Grant Morrison era. I want to go into the Tom Veidt, Peter Milligan, who else? The Jamie Delano era. And you had Steve Pugh on artwork with also Steve Dillon working on some of this stuff. You still have beautiful covers by Brian Bolland. And there's also a transition getting this book into the Vertigo era. But I think it's one that we really need. I know a lot of people were fans of Animal Man because of Grant Morrison. And this actually adds a lot more to that. And a lot of different stories. It's not the same. I know it's not Grant Morrison, but it's still a good read. And I would love a follow-up. Don't just sell it on the name. Keep continuing these stories going. Now, number 7, I couldn't call it Legion of Superheroes 5 years later, Volume 3. So I went ahead and changed it to Legionnaires by Mark Waid. So this is the Legion of Superheroes era, Legionnaires era, that is mainly written by Mark Waid, but also Tom Payer does a lot of the writing in here. And a lot of the stories in here kind of go together. So what's going on in Legion of Superheroes is affecting what's going on in Legionnaires. Now, there has been a couple of trade paperbacks available this era, but I wanted to go a little further than that. I took it all the way to the Underworld Unleashed story arc, which kind of revamps both of the series to get them a little bit closer. Then you get the big L telling you where and when to read the stories, kind of like the Triangle Years of Superman. but it's a little bit past the Future Tense storyline, which is the crossover. But yeah, I wanted to get at least to issue 75 and issue 32 of Legionnaires. So yeah, I think those books have sold well enough. I mean, Volume 1 is out of print. We haven't had a lot of love for collected editions of the Legion of Superheroes. And if they keep going with this, we can get the DNA era of Legion of Superheroes. Number 6, one book that I've already mentioned, but that is Green Arrow. Now, I'm calling this one Green Arrow Where Angels Fear to Tread. That's right. So this is a transition period. This is after Mike Grell left the book. You had a lot of guest writers in there, and then eventually Chuck Dixon became the main writer. Now, the reason I called it Where Angels Fear to Tread, that is the storyline where pretty much Ollie takes, let's just say, a backseat and stops being Green Arrow, and then we have his son, Connor Hawke, step in and become the new Green Arrow. I mean, and he becomes the Green Arrow for many years. He was the Green Arrow that was in Justice League. He was the Green Arrow that had a lot of team-ups with Kyle Rayner, the new Green Lantern. So I added some of the Green Lantern stuff in here. I love this stuff. This is when I got big into Green Arrow and I started getting the back issues of Mike Grell. But I hope one day they get this stuff collected because it's a great read. Now, there were some edgy things that were happening because DC was killing Superman, making Wonder Woman lose her powers, breaking Batman's back, making Guy Gardner an alien. So, of course, something bad happens to Ollie in this. Now, this next book is one that I know that DC is going to do, but as of this video, it hasn't been solicited, it's not in the catalog, and I still have faith that they'll do it. But that is The Question Volume 2. Now, the biggest question I get about this is how in the world are they going to fatten this book up to match Volume 1? Volume 1 collected 1 through 27, annual number 1. Well, the way that I added the books in here, I think it'll be big enough, honestly. So I have the remaining issues all the way to 36, so you're right, that's not even 10 issues. Annual number 2, but the quarterly were bigger books. They were bigger, longer size books. I want to say they were bigger than 64 pages, and there's 5 of those. And I also added The Question by Rick Waid, Volume 2. So this is the follow-up series that was 6 issues long. That's what I added on here to kind of fatten it up. Like I said, I have a lot of faith that DC will do it. I don't think they'll leave us, stringing along. I think the days of waiting between Batman by Scott Snyder Volume 1 and Volume 2, I mean, that was a couple of years. Those days are gone. I think they're really focused on getting these books out. I mean, look at Books of Magic. We already have a Volume 3 coming out. So I'm hoping in the next catalog we will see The Question Volume 2. Next up is Aquaman New 52 Volume 2. Well, it's not as great as that Jeff Johns era. You still had a lot of great talent in here. You had Dan Abnett, Dan Jurgens, Jeff Parker coming in to write some of the stories that follow up. I even added the Aquaman and the other stories in here just because I don't think that will ever be collected on its own in an oversized hardcover format. And there weren't that many issues. Well, I guess you had the Future's End issues. But absolutely, I think it's a series that needs to be collected. There's not a lot of love for Aquaman in omnibus format. I think we just have one because that Silver Age one that was coming out got canceled a couple of years ago. So, yes, I would love to see a follow-up to that New 52. And it's sold well enough. And it's still a great introduction to the character. So follow it up with another volume. Wrap up that 52, and then give us the Rebirth era. Oh, yeah, baby. Number 3. Superman Time and Time Again and Panic in the Sky. We have enough material between Exile and Death and Return of Superman to give us 2 Omnis. And holy crap. Then we can worry about the Man of Steel stuff by John Byrne. That's actually on my list of top 20 most wanted. And will forever be until they give it to us. But here we have Superman. I mean, this is where they save Luthor's brains is. The Crisis in Krypton story arc. And of course, the Time and Time Again story and Panic in the Sky where we lose a beloved character. But all of this leads directly into the Death and Return of Superman. I even have a couple of one-shots in there, all the annuals that I collected in there, including the crossover annual with Legion 90, and, of course, the new series by Louise Simonson and John Bogdanove, and that is the Man of Steel series. Not to be confused with Man of Steel by John Byrne miniseries, but the ongoing Superman Man of Steel series. So I think they know how well these books sell. I really thought when they released Exile that they were mapping these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, they've remapped Death and Return of Superman. Turned out they didn't. It was the same as the second printing, except it had the fold-out pages. But I really thought they remapped everything. They actually know what they're doing. They're actually going to release these one day, and we're still here. So hopefully one day we will have these. And of course, Man of Steel, or the Byrne era of Superman, along with World of Krypton, World of Metropolis, and World of Smallville. Okay, number 2, hell yes. Hell yes. And that is Teen Titans Volumes 2 and 3. Not to be confused with New Teen Titans. This is the post-Jeff Johns era of Teen Titans, with Sean McKeever writing some of this stuff. And I love this era. I love this Teen Titans. This is the stuff that, when Outsiders started, the Teen Titans started, and this is the era that brought me back to comics too, that kept me in comics. I included all the crossovers in here, all the mini-series, including Cyborg, Wonder Girl, Raven, the Terror Titans, which that's been collected in the Final Crisis Omnibus, but screw it, keep it in here. I even included issues 27 and 28, which were written by Gail Simone, which have never been included in any trade paperback, nor in Omnibus edition, that Omni that came out, left out those issues because they're written by Gail Simone and they're drawn by Rob Liefeld, so maybe, put them in at the end of the Omnibus. But absolutely, this needs to be collected. And, we have the Teen Titans by Jeff Johns. Make that a Volume 1, and these can be Volume 2 and 3. And my number 1 most wanted DC Continuing Omni, Justice League International Volume 3. Holy crap. I was surprised we got a Volume 2. So come on, DC. Surprise me. Look, I mapped it out for you. Give us those breakdowns. This was my era of Justice League. I love JLA. I think JLA is still probably the greatest Justice League stories. But this was the era that I grew up in. This is the era that made me a fan. This is the era also where the team gets shuffled around. Like, we have new members because of the whole breakdown storyline. And I love that iconic cover of Blue Beetle and Ice just walking away. Very, much like the Spider-Man issue number 50 cover. But yes, this is my most wanted DC Omni, and I hope, or most wanted continuing on. Most wanted is still Man of Steel. But I hope that one day that DC gives us this. Saw the sales of Volume 2. I believe Volume 1 is currently out of print, so there's enough demand for this stuff. There is nostalgia for this era. J.M. DeMatteis and Keith Giffen, Bart Sears, Adam Hughes, just a lot of talent that went into this. Of course, they'll have to leave a name out, like they did in the previous volume, but Justice League International, baby. Volume 3, give it to me. And hopefully, if any of these books come out ever, well, some of these will probably come out here within the next year or so, check out our sponsors.
If you live in Europe and are interested in buying and pre-ordering Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC books within the EU, flat shipping rates of €11.90 for all EU countries, great customer service with sturdy packaging and emails answered within 24 hours. They also offer a superb selection of new titles and out-of-print books. Just head over to waltscomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. For a limited time, you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION, all one word, at checkout and get a €10 voucher for your first order over €40. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ting!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my list for continuing Omnis. Let me know in the comments down below what piqued your interest in my list, what you would love to see DC continue in any kind of format. I almost cheated and put Legacy Contagion in here, but then realized, wait, I think I added that in my actually most wanted Omnis. So, yes, let me know what you would love to see continue in Omnibus format. If you have any questions, and if you have have any comments, leave them down below. Smash that like button, subscribe, check out our Patreon. Phenomenal way to support the channel if you can do so. And thank you to our existing patrons. Could not be making videos like this possible without you all. Everyone stay healthy and safe. Much love.